about my family and our ties that bind. There seems to be a lot of turmoil in our country. I don't like to watch the news because of that. When I was raised as a child, my family taught us about love and peace. Love has to happen before you can find peace. And I believe that's part of what our problem is in our country when we have turmoil. Love is not a word, it's an action. And that's the part that people get confused about sometimes. We can call it love, but when you love somebody, we should have activity to show them that we love them. That's what my family showed me as a child. So the events that I'm going to talk about, the adventures, the events, and how we worked as a team is very important to me in my life because it set a basic of belief in my life on how we could really have peace in the world. It's that simple. And it's very delightful. My parents were married and in love, and are still married for 65 years now. My parents showed us about ties that bind. Their relationship was full of jollification. They really actually were happy and merry, and our family was filled with activities. Some of the activities that we had and the adventures that we had, let me start from the beginning. My life started in Fort Lewis, Washington. My father, it was a medic in the military. He's retired now. At Fort Lewis, Washington, we were there a couple of years. We ended up going to Karlsruhe, Germany for 2 years. And from there, my father, where my childhood happiness began, was when he was assigned to Fort Richardson, Alaska. What a great place to live, especially if you like activities. Our family's adventures had to do with rock hunting. Because when we went to Alaska, we didn't really know the state, and we wanted to find out everything about the state. So we got in the station wagon, and we went up to the mountains, and we just drove and drove and drove. And we found places that we could go in creek beds, dry creek beds. We knew that if you were smart to be in Alaska, you don't want to get lost in the wilderness. So we figured if we took dry creek beds, we could go and come back the same way, and we wouldn't get lost. During that time, we started finding rocks. This is an example. I was hoping it would happen. This is an example of a rock that we found. And if you know anything about rocks, this is made of jasper. It has a lot of different colors to it. It's beautiful. This is a nodule because it has, when you open it up, you can see that it's solid, and it has a lot of layers. That's part of the fun we had. The other part was we found driftwood. There's some great driftwood in Alaska. There's a tree that's a pine, a member of the pine family that's called diamond willow. When you look for driftwood, you're looking for something that's been seasoned on the ground. The diamond willow tree, when the branch falls off, it turns into a diamond shape. The tree is a light wood, a dark wood, and at the diamond shape, it's very dark, so the contrast is beautiful. We would pick those up, take them home. My father would sand them, drill a hole through them, or cut them, whatever shape you want, drill a hole, and make lamps. We also gold panned. So when you put the varnish after sanding it, he would take the gold and sprinkle it around the diamonds. We would put that in the station wagon, and all of us kids would go to Anchorage, and he would sell this to the shops. And they would sell them to the people. That was a great thing that we did. Some of the events that happened is we were in the land of the midnight sun, and we lived on a base. And the barracks were in a circle, and our playground was in the middle. This is a very safe place. We did the normal things that you do in Alaska. We skied, we ice skated, but what we did that was great fun was we got together as children in this playground and said, let's sneak out. At 10 o'clock, let's meet in the playground, just see if we can do this. So we did it. And we came back in the house, and nobody knew. So we did it several times. We would play on the playground, the merry-go-round, the swings. We had a great time, and that's why we did it again, because it worked. Our parents never knew. In the whole neighborhood, there were between 8 to 10 people there. Our parents never knew. Another thing that happened was we were in Alaska from 1961 to 1966. We wanted to take the scenic route back when my father was assigned to Colorado Springs, Fort Carson. We did. We came from Alaska through the Alcan, they called it, the Alcan Highway, which is the Alaskan-Canadian Highway. We went all the way across Canada to the top of Michigan. We took a ferry down into Michigan, and we spent time with my father's family. And then we came to Colorado. It was a great trip. There were a lot of animals there. We hit a skunk on the way. Everybody felt sorry for us, and we felt sorry for us too. I actually ate my first hamburger there. We learned about my first fast food hamburger. We learned about teamwork. We worked together to clean our house. We had the cleanest house in the neighborhood because my parents motivated us to clean the house. We had to clean it before we could go outside. So we were motivated, and as a family, 7 children got together and we made up a plan. We rotated and we got the house clean so that we could go out and play, and we spent a lot of time outside because of our great plan to clean the house. The neighbors are good witnesses for us. All the neighbors said we had the cleanest house with 7 children, a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house I was raised in. We were very close. We all moved to different areas. But our love is solid as a rock.